Every week, I used to spend about 2 hours scrolling through AI news trying to find one usable video idea. So I decided to automate it. I built a workflow in an A10 that does three things. First, it pulls news from RSS feeds. Second, it uses AI to filter out anything I can't use in a video. And third, it saves everything into a Notion database. Sounds simple, right? It took me 3 weeks, and today I'll show you exactly why. If you think that no code tools are easy, let me stop you right there. They are powerful, but easy? Not really. I don't code, I'm not technical, and this project broke my brain for 3 weeks. But in the process, I ran into three specific traps which almost every beginner hits. And if you're trying to build something useful with AI, you'll hit the same ones. Trap number one, assuming the internet gives you clean data. I thought RSS is structured data, so this shall be easy. But some feeds didn't work at all, and it just couldn't read them. And even when they worked, the structure wasn't consistent. Some feeds use fields like title and summary, and others use completely different fields. Let me show you on the example of latent space RSS. Here we have content encoded field. In towards data science, we have fields content and content snippet, and the same in the product hunt. And Hugging Face doesn't possess any such field at all, so just title, link, pub date, ISO date. And if you don't handle these differences explicitly in your workflow, nothing works. I ended up with a fallback logic, use content or content snippet or summary, depending on what's actually there. So instead of plug and play, it's more like inspect and adapt. Trap number two, the silent filter. This is where the things got really confusing. I connected OpenAI to filter the news. I wrote a simple prompt, keep only news items I can turn into a video. 40 items in and 0 item out. The worst part? Nothing crashed, no errors, it just quietly failed. I thought my prompt was wrong, so I rewrote it again and again. Nothing changed. The real problem? I wasn't actually sending the content I thought I was sending. Let's look here. This is what I was sending to OpenAI. Um, both fields, title and summary, were empty. So the data was still there in my workflow. Actually, here it is. But the AI received empty fields, so it wasn't filtering bad news, it was filtering nothing. The fix was simple but not obvious. I just had to point to the right fields. Trap number three, a fear of code. I don't code, yet my final no-code workflow has 11 code nodes. Sounds like failure, right? But here's what I learned. No code doesn't mean no code. It means you don't have to write it from scratch. I would take a screenshot of the data, the screenshot of the arrow, send it to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to fix it. ChatGPT would write a small function. I'd paste it. Sometimes it worked immediately. Sometimes it took 10 to 20 tries, but I wasn't coding. I was managing the logic. So, after 3 weeks, it works. The Notion database fills up automatically. News comes in, gets filtered, turned into video ideas, and lands right here. Happy ending? Yes, but also no. Here's the uncomfortable part. Even with a working system, most AI news still isn't useful. Not because it's bad, but because it's not actionable. Some of it can be fixed with better prompts, some of it depends on better sources, but a lot of it just not something you can turn into a useful practical video or can use in your work. The automation helped me filter noise, but it didn't decide what's meaningful. This part is still on me. Here's what I actually learned. If your input is messy, AI just gives you more structured mess. Tools like N8N and ChatGPT don't think for you. They're just very fast at doing boring work, collecting, sorting, filtering. But the decision, is this actually worth turning into something? That's still yours. And if you're okay with the fact that most of automation isn't magic, it's debugging why one field is called title and another one is hidden somewhere else, then you'll be fine. This was my first real experiment. And if you want more like this, no hype, just what actually works, you might want to stick around.